Hello viewers, welcome to UN Digital class. In today's lecture, I am going to discuss about propositional logic. Before going to the propositional logic, first of all, I would like to discuss about why we use propositional logic in artificial intelligence, or what are the need of propositional logic in artificial intelligence. Actually, propositional logic is basically used in knowledge base. In my previous lecture, I have already discussed about the knowledge based agent. In knowledge based agent, the knowledge base is the central component, and this knowledge base is nothing but that is the collection of sentence, or simply you can say that knowledge base can store the data or information through sentence. Here the sentences are not the English like sentence. These sentences are represented by using a knowledge representation language, and this knowledge representation language use the logic to represent the language or to represent the sentence. For this reason, propositional logic is needed in your artificial intelligence. Here you remember that this propositional logic is basically used to create the sentence, to store the knowledge base. Now, let us discuss about the propositional logic. In propositional logic, this logic is the simplest form of logic where all the statements are made by propositions, which means in propositional logic it is a simplest form logic, and this logic contains statements, and each statements are represented by a proposition. A proposition is a declarative statement which is either true or false. It is a technique of knowledge representation in logical and mathematical form, which means in propositional logic the proposition is nothing but it is a declarative statement which is either true or false, and this propositional logic is used to represent a statement by using the knowledge representation language. Now look at the example. Here in example, the first example is the sun rises from west. It is a false proposition because this statement is a false statement, where the sun rises from east, that is the true proposition, but here this statement is a false proposition. Now the next example is 3 plus 3 equal to 7. Here this statement also one of false proposition. The next one is 5 is a prime number. Here it is a true proposition because actually 5 is a prime number. Next, some basic facts about propositional logic. First one is propositional logic is also called Boolean logic, as it works on 0 and 1, which means we can say that propositional logic is a Boolean logic because the propositional logic also use the Boolean value 0 and 1. So that we can say that the propositional logic is a Boolean logic. Next, in propositional logic we use symbolic variables to represent the logic, and we can use any symbol for a representing a proposition such as A, B, C, P, Q and others, which means in propositional logic to represent each proposition we can use a symbol, and that symbol may be any symbol like our alphabet A, B, C and others. Next, propositions can be either true or false, but it cannot be both, which means when we are taking one proposition and we are find out the truth value of that proposition, then the truth value of that proposition must be true or false, but not both at a time. Next one is propositional logic consists of an object, relation or function and logical connectivities. These connectivities are also called logical operators, which means in propositional logic we can use the connectivity to represent more than one proposition at a time. Next, the propositions and the connectivities are the basic elements of the propositional logic, and the connectivities can be said as logical operators which connects two sentences, which means in propositional logic the main element is proposition and the connectivities. Here the connectivities are called the logical operators. Here the logical connectivities are used to create a propositional statement by using more than one proposition. That means these logical connectivities are basically used to connect the propositions to generate a propositional statement. Next, a proposition formula which is always true is called tautology, and it is also called a valid sentence, which means when we are taking a proposition formula and calculates its truth value, then if it gives true, that means for every input if it gives true, then we can say that proposition formula is tautology. Next, a proposition formula which is always false is called contradiction, which means when we are taking a proposition formula and calculates its truth value, if for every input it gives the output that is false, then we can say that proposition formula is contradiction, which is the opposite of our tautology. Next, statement which are questions, commands or options are not propositions, such as where is Rohin, how are you, what is your name are not propositions. That means when we represent a sentence and that sentence is a command or question, then these statements are not propositions. Next, syntax of propositional logic. The syntax of propositional logic defines the allowable sentence for the knowledge representation, which means here syntax is nothing but that is the set of rules or principles based upon which we create our statement. Here in propositional logic there is some set of rules. Based upon that rule we generate the sentence. The sentence which satisfies the propositional syntax, that sentence can only be stored in our knowledge base by using the knowledge representation. Next, here two different types of propositions are available. One is the atomic proposition, another one is the compound proposition. First of all, we discuss about the atomic proposition. Atomic propositions are the simple propositions. It consists of a single proposition symbol. These are the sentences which must be either true or false, which means atomic propositions are those propositions which represent a single sentence or a single symbol. These are called the atomic proposition, and the atomic proposition always true or false. That means it may give the result that is true or it gives the result that is false. Now take the example of atomic proposition. Here 2 plus 2 is 4. This sentence is an atomic proposition and it gives the result that is true. Here the sun is cold. It is also a proposition, that means it is also an atomic proposition, but it gives the value that is false. Next, compound proposition. Compound propositions are constructed by combining simpler or atomic propositions using parentheses and logical connectivities, which means the compound propositions are generated by using more than one atomic proposition and by using the logical connectivity or logical operators. Now take the example of compound proposition. Here it is raining today and street is wet. In this example, it is raining today is atomic proposition. Then street is wet. This is also another atomic proposition. Now these two atomic propositions are connected by the connectivity that is the and now this sentence makes us a compound proposition. That means when we said that it is a raining today and street is wet, it forms a compound proposition which combines two atomic proposition. Now next example is Ankit is a doctor and his clinic is in Mumbai. That means here the atomic propositions are Ankit is a doctor. This sentence is one of the atomic proposition. The next one is his clinic is in Mumbai. This is also one of the atomic proposition. Now these two atomic propositions are connected by the connectivity, that is AND. After connecting these two atomic proposition by using the connectivity AND, it produces the compound proposition. Next, logical connectivities. Logical connectivities are used to connect two simpler propositions or representing a sentence logically. We can create compound propositions with the help of logical connectivities. There are mainly 5 connectivities which are given follows. That means in logical connectivities, these connectivities are basically used to form a compound proposition. When we are taking more than one atomic proposition and we are trying to make a compound proposition from all these atomic proposition, then we can use the logical connectivity among the atomic proposition to generate the compound proposition. Now look at the different logical connectivities. The first one is the negation. A sentence such as negation of P. Now look at here, this symbol represents the negation connectivity. Now a literal can be either positive literal or negative literal. That means here P is a literal and this literal may be positive or may be negative. But when we are taking a positive literal and using the negation connectivity, then that produces the false statement. When this literal is negative literal, then we are taking the negation of that literal, then it produces the true output. Then next one is the conjunction connectivity. Here a sentence which has connectivity, that is the conjunction connectivity. That means now here this symbol represents the conjunction connectivity and you can also call this as AND connectivity. Now look at here, in the example, Rohan is intelligent and hardworking. It can be written as, suppose here we are taking P equal to Rohan is intelligent. Then we are taking Q, that is another proposition, that equal to Rohan is hardworking. That means here P and Q are two different atomic propositions. Now we can use this conjunction connectivity to produce a compound proposition, that is Rohan is intelligent and hardworking. Now look at here, P conjunction Q which represents this sentence, that is Rohan is intelligent and hardworking. That means here this connectivity, that is the conjunction connectivity, represent the AND operator. Now next one is the disjunction. Here a sentence which has disjunction connectivity. That means now look at here, this symbol represents the disjunction connectivity which is also called as OR connectivity. Now look at the example. In this example, Rithika is a doctor or engineer. First of all, you have to take P equal to Rithika is a doctor. Then Q equal to Rithika is an engineer. Then we use the disjunction connectivity to represent this proposition. For representing this proposition, you can write P disjunction Q. Here, this disjunction symbol represents this OR operator. That means here in conjunction and disjunction operator, first of all you have to remember that conjunction is nothing but which represent the AND operator and disjunction is nothing but which represent the OR operator. The next connectivity is implication. Here a sentence such as P implies Q. Here look at this symbol. This symbol represents the implication connectivity. Now take one example. Here, if it is raining, then the street is wet. Now, you can represent P equal to it is raining and Q equal to street is wet. Then you use the implication connectivity to represent this sentence, that is P implies Q, which means it is raining, then the street is wet. That means here this implication connectivity also represent the if then rules. Then next one is the biconditional. Here in biconditional connectivity you use the symbol, this is the double implication symbol. Now take one example. In example, if I am breathing then I am alive. Now to represent this proposition by using the biconditional connectivity. First of all you have to take P equal to I am breathing, then Q equal to I am alive. After that you can write P implies Q, which means if I am breathing then I am alive. Here this double implication is known as the biconditional connectivity. Now look at this table. This table shows the connectivity with the example. Now look at here. This symbol represents the AND operator, which is called conjunction. That can be written as A conjunction B. Then next one is the OR operator, and that is called the disjunction, and that can be written as A or B, or you can say that A disjunction B. Here this one is the implication connectivity symbol. That means you can write A implies B. Here this symbol represents the double implication, or you can say that if and only if, and it can be written as A double implies or biconditional B. Then last one is the negation operator, or you can say that negation connectivity, that is the NOT, and it can be written as negation of A or negation of B. Now here look at the truth table. This table shows the negation connectivity. Suppose here P is your literal whose value is true. If its initial value is true, then if you write negation of P, it gives us the result that is false. Similarly, if you take the value false, then negation of P gives us true. Now look at this table. This table shows the conjunction. Now here P and Q are two literal, and we are taking the all possible values of P and Q, and here we are producing the conjunction output. That means suppose first one is if you are taking the P value that is true, then Q value true, then the conjunction operator, that is P conjunction Q, gives us the output that is true. Here you look at the table output. In this table the first output is true, then the last three output is false. That means when both the value or both the literal value is true, then the conjunction operator gives us the output true, otherwise it gives us the output false. Now look at the disjunction truth table. In disjunction truth table, here the P value is true and Q value is true. Then the disjunction operator, that is P disjunction Q, gives us true. And look at the output of the P disjunction Q. Here the output is true for three cases, and for last one it is false. That means now look at the last one input. Here the last one input is P value is false and Q value is false. Then the output is false. That means in disjunction operator, when both input are false, then it gives us the false as output, otherwise it gives us true as output. Now here look at the implication truth table. In implication truth table, look at the output column. Here P implies Q. Now in P implies Q, the second output is false. Now look at the input for this output. That means here P value is true and Q value is false. Which means when P value is true and Q value is false, then the implication output is false. Otherwise it gives us true value. Then next, precedency of connectives. Here look at the precedency. First precedence is parenthesis, then second precedence is negation operator, then third precedence is conjunction operator, then fourth precedence is disjunction, fifth precedence is implication, and sixth precedence is biconditional. Then next is the logical equivalence. Logical equivalence is one of the features of propositional logic. The two propositions are said to be logically equivalent if and only if the columns in the truth table are identical to each other. The logical equivalence means if we are taking two propositions and find out the truth value of these two propositions, then if these two propositions gives us the output and these outputs are identical to each other, then we can say that these two propositions are logically equivalent. Now take one example. Look at this table. Here A, B are two propositions or two literals. Now look at these two columns, that is negation of A and B. Here A implies B. When we are taking the input, that is A value is true and B value is true, then here this column gives us the output that is true and this column also gives us the output true. In this way, when you calculate for all these input, then this column gives the output that is true, false, true, true. And here this column also gives the output that is true, false, true, true. Now compare these two columns. Here this value is equal to this value, then the second column value also equal for each other, then the third column value also equal and fourth column value also equal. That means these two columns are identical. Then we can say that these two propositions are logically equivalent or these two propositions are equivalent. Then next, properties of operators. The first property is commutative. Now look at here this operator is the AND operator. That means P and Q equal to Q and P. When P and Q equal to Q and P, that means it satisfies the commutative properties. Similarly, here the OR operator also satisfies the commutative property. Now look at the associativity. Associativity means P and Q, these two are within the parenthesis, then and R, which is equal to, here we are taking P outside the parenthesis, then within the parenthesis we are taking Q and R. That means when this value is equal to this value, then we can say that our AND operator satisfies the associativity. Similarly, the OR operator also satisfies the associativity property. Then next is the identity element. Here the true value means, that means here we are taking P as a literal, then AND, then true, which gives us P. Then here we are taking P or true, which is equal to true. This shows the identity element. Then next, distributive. Here this statement satisfies the distributive property, because here the first operator is our AND operator and the second operator is your OR operator, and this OR operator is taken within the parenthesis. Now look at here we are taking P and Q within the bracket, then OR operator P and R, and this P and R within the bracket. When we can represent this statement like this, then we can say that it satisfies the distributive law. Now look at the De Morgan's law. Then De Morgan's law is that negation of P and Q, which is equal to negation of P and negation of Q. Similarly, negation of P or Q, which is equal to negation of P or negation of Q. That is the De Morgan's law. Then next one is the double negation elimination. That means here first we take negation of P. After that we can take the negation operator once again, which is equal to P. That is the double negation elimination. Then next, limitations of propositional logic. We cannot represent relations like all, some or none with propositional logic. For example, all the girls are intelligent and some apples are sweet. These statements are not represented by using our propositional logic. This is the main disadvantages of our propositional logic. Then next, propositional logic has limited expressive power. Then next, in propositional logic, we cannot describe statement in terms of their properties or logical relationship, which means in propositional logic basically we cannot represent the statement that contains all or some. For this reason, the propositional logic is not sufficient for our artificial intelligence, because in your artificial intelligence our aim is to design a knowledge based agent which behaves like human being and acts like human being. And when we want to design a knowledge based agent, first of all we have to design the knowledge base, and for the knowledge based we have to record the sentence, and that sentence are represented by using the logic, so that we can use the propositional logic. But the propositional logic does not fulfill our aim, because in propositional logic we cannot represent the sentence that contains the word like some or all. For avoiding this limitation, the first order logic comes into the picture. In my next lecture, I will discuss about this first order logic and how this first order logic is used for representing the knowledge base. These are all about the propositional logic. If you have any doubt regarding the propositional logic, then you can write me in comment. I will reply you and discuss about your doubt. Thank you for watching.